For having a pretty massive population and a ton of resources, California's not doing much here. We're kind of an embarrassment to the US. Oh, but that's our specialty. So I don't know if people were serious, but everyone was saying you should try the Battle Royale mod with the Every State Independent mod. That seems like it would probably blow up my computer. I seriously didn't think this was gonna work, but unbelievably, I somehow figured out a way to do it. So I had this recording for about 24 hours, and I had multiple save points, because obviously I can't cover every single detail in this game. This was like the biggest headache trying to get this video idea to work. But by the end of this campaign, there will be only one nation left. This is so dumb when you think about it, because all I'm really doing here is turning HOI4 into EU4. And actually that game would run this like 1,000 times better, but fuck it. I always talk about this in every single video, but I do need to mention it this time. I'm just gonna hold the enter key down for a couple seconds. Or maybe a minute. Maybe 5. Holy shit. I'm tempted not even to put a cut here. I really want you to see all of this. Yeah, so needless to say, that first day took like 5 minutes for my computer to render. Anyways, here we go. Places like Australia and the British Isles will be exciting, but ultimately, let's be real, they're not gonna win this game. They're still gonna be fun to look at though throughout this video, so I'll definitely keep that in mind. As for North America, I think they're also kind of in a tough spot. You kind of have to be in the old world to even have a chance, just to get all that extra manpower in your empire. I didn't really think about this because it doesn't matter ultimately, but every state has its own ideology. That's a nice little touch. As well as just to add to the chaos, everyone only has one starting division. So trust me when I say this took fucking forever. Nothing really happens this first year. It's really all about building up and getting some of those states that just got incredibly unlucky. So let's fast forward to the next year. All right, that looks a little bit better. We can actually start to kind of see who's doing well. I have no idea who died, but I don't think that really matters because there's probably like a few hundred nations that'll be dead by the end of this. Wales and Lancaster are off to a pretty quick start in the British Isles. We've got, damn, Leon, I don't know. They're doing really well though. So is Lisbon. They recaptured all of Portugal, and now they're dipping into the Iberian Peninsula. Sicily and Tuscany are doing pretty well in the Italian Peninsula, and as for Germany, well, it's basically just the HRE again. Moldova's having a pretty good run here. It's kind of rare to see a country do this well, just in the middle of all this shit. I learned kind of early here that the nations in the corner or that are protected by a coastline obviously do really well in the situation, at least in the very beginning. At the end, we'll see there's also some significant disadvantages. I don't know how, in the middle of the US, Nebraska and Kansas are on top. Two just random ass states doing really well in the middle of the country. Oh, and congratulations to Minnesota. You're the first state to die from the Canadians. I'd probably just kill myself due to the embarrassment. Texas is kind of screwed here. I kind of figured they would probably win this continent, but no. I think they're gonna die pretty early. I guess I'll just have to go with my second pick. No, but honestly, these islands were so fucking annoying. I just had to manually annex them. They were just a waste. All right, well, it's December 1937, and things are slowly starting to get a little bit better. I think I can actually have the game run while I'm recording. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and check on Africa. It seems like Mozambique is the major force down here, and I think they're even gonna take another state up this way. Oh, and also you'll notice at this point, we actually have multiple divisions. Some of these nations actually have a army now. As for Europe, we have 6 or 7 major players just kind of eating up everyone else. Lisbon, Lyon, Sicily, however you pronounce this. Actually, that's not even that bad compared to fucking German language. I was gonna say this Irish state might do pretty well since they unified so early, but we all know they're gonna be just too drunk to get anything done. The Nordic region and everything to the east as well, really no one has come out on top. I mean, there's a handful, but no one that's significantly in power here. Mandalay has immediately won the most disgusting borders award, but I'm kind of just impressed they were able to do this. Mongolia unfortunately took out North Korea, and I'm assuming they're probably gonna get South Korea here too. Oh, and also Japan is fighting between only 2 states left. That was fast. It's probably for the best that East Asia is still very divided up. Beijing's doing pretty well. I think they've got like 4 states. It's November 1938, and everything still seems the same for the most part, except for Australia. There's a big battle raging on for this continent. Luckily for Queensland, Western Australia is distracted, which happens quite a lot in the Battle Royale mod. Remember though, in this scenario, nations will try not to go to war with some of their stronger neighbors. They actually try to go after the weaker ones. So these two immediately, I'm starting to notice, might do really well. Eventually, Lisbon is gonna run out of people to kill in Iberia, and they're gonna actually have to fight a pretty big war with the North. It's kind of funny that these guys would be one of the only ones left in this region, still fighting for their independence. Ooh, and Sicily's been doing a pretty good job expanding. They've got territory in North Africa. They also grabbed this sliver of land here, and now they're going after Lombardy, which seems easy enough. Yep, these guys are attacking the Greeks. It's safe to say they're the Ottomans. So who exactly is going to be doing the removing? Jeez, Wales. Okay, well, they're about to become the UK, I think. They're about to unite eventually. Oklahoma has taken over Texas. Ooh, I'm sure they hate that. As well as Kansas is dipping down into the deep south. Michigan also is beginning to take stuff over, and New York. Oh man, this is way more embarrassing. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Northeastern Canada is doing really well. They might eventually unite this nation. For having a pretty massive population and a ton of resources, California's not doing much here. We're kind of an embarrassment to the US. Oh, but that's our specialty. I'm not sure exactly how many peace treaties I'm gonna be able to show off, but I've witnessed like hundreds of them. I just wanted to include one in this video, even though obviously this doesn't matter. But these guys are getting pretty powerful in India. It's July 4th, 1939, and for the most part, it looks like most of just all the smaller states have been annexed. All the big powers have grown, but none have taken each other out just yet. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what happened to Lisbon. I had noticed this when I was running the game and saving it at different points. They're just gone. And I'm assuming it's because Leon got involved. They had to have, because they took some territory up this way. That was the first major shocker for me. I thought for sure they would take over Iberia. Wales is basically united, and now they're setting their sights on continental Europe. Let's see how that goes. Still, Nordic lands are just a big mess. Same goes for like Western Russia. It all kind of seems the same. But Central Asia though, damn, these guys are scary. Are they attacking Punjab? Oh, wow. That is a pretty massive war you got going on there. I love how well Hong Kong did in this campaign. They started off from such a small territory and they grew so much. Mongolia has united Korea, and this state has taken over Japan. Not even gonna try to pronounce that one either. Actually, thinking about it, when this game first started, I bet you I couldn't pronounce like 97, maybe 98% of the states. Ooh, Bhutan is not appreciating this disgusting border gore from Mandalay. Or I guess from Burma either, although that's just messed up. They weren't doing well anyways. Oh man, I'm kind of sad. So Persia is obviously going to do very well in this game. Georgia's going to get taken out. I didn't even realize how big they got at one point. Yemen has united the Arabian Peninsula, and now they're going after French Somaliland. Oh god, I forgot that they even existed. As for Kansas, they are wrapping around Oklahoma, as Oklahoma is being invaded. Again though, the most shocking thing is how well Eastern Canada did. They just slowly started taking over more and more of the northern states. It's mid-1941, and Europe is for the most part set. 4 or 5 different nations that could win over this continent. I remember this being a pretty massive war between La Mancha and Sicily. Yeah, they both have over 300 divisions. I think other nations also get involved as well. Not these guys though. They're still distracted by Wales, and hate to break it to you, but Wales doesn't do anything. Oh, that's right. I think it's Communist Moldova that's going to be doing the removing, if any removing does take place. Finally, we have 2 nations that look like they're starting to do well. I hate to break it to you though, it's a little too late. Especially because these guys, which I want to call them a horde. I don't know, I'm thinking very EU4 in this video. They look like a horde to me. That's what I'm imagining. They're just beating fucking tank divisions with their horses. It's all good. Again, India is divided in half, and I'm surprised that Punjab has survived in the last year. It looks like they might have even taken territory. Yeah, they have. Hong Kong controls southern China. I don't even know what happened to them, but they were definitely my favorite part of East Asia. And I guess the other horde, if we're talking about it, the Mongol horde, is starting to expand once again. As for Upside Down Land, we have Northern Territory defeating Western Australia. So they're going to be the first to unify an entire continent. But unfortunately, that's all they're gonna do. Oh yes, so El Salvador starts to play a pretty big role, especially in Latin America, or I guess I can still call it that, right? Yeah, they're invading and helping some of the other neighbors down here. Oklahoma managed to destroy the rest of Mexico, and now they're invading Kansas. It was a good run, guys. It was a good run. Oh god, Nebraska took over California, Maryland took over Florida, but it all doesn't matter because Canada is about to put us in a big old syrupy gulag. I don't even know why I said that. They're not even close to being communist. An internment camp might still happen. It's between Liberia, Central Congo, and French Somaliland to unify Africa. I don't think anyone else really has a chance. It's 1942, and I think you can kind of tell just by looking around who's gonna make it to the end here. You could probably guess the top 5, top 7. Again, look at this. Sicily ended up fighting a 2-front war, and I believe they make it out on top. I'm not sure. They're actually losing a lot of land over here. Maybe don't listen to me. I do feel bad for this entire region, just because, you know, they didn't unify fast enough. By this point, there's just too many bigger nations that are just going to eat them up. As I hinted in the very beginning, this is the part of the world you really got to keep an eye on, because very easily one of these nations could just take over everything. As for the New World, it's clear Canada is probably going to take everything over. I think El Salvador somehow saved Kansas, and South America's got to get something going. I can't even remember who ends up winning this whole thing. One more thing to highlight before we move forward, because this is actually a big deal in the scheme of things. Sicily's at 397 divisions. That is the most at the moment, but keep that in mind. Another year later, and Liberia has kind of just jumped out of nowhere. They look like they're gonna win this whole thing. I don't know how they took up so much land in less than 12 months. Oh, good. I forgot that Hong Kong ended up taking over almost all of China. Who are they at war with now? Yeah, they're probably gonna win this. While these guys have somehow dipped all the way to northern Sweden, and they're still fighting Punjab, which is really actually kind of painful. Whenever you get into one of these wars that just stagnate you, that's kind of the end of the game. Oh yeah, and it's Santiago that ends up destroying everything. But real quick, I do want to point out, this was kind of amazing. Falkland Islands ended up having a lot more territory. You can probably go back and look at it, but I was really impressed at how big they got at one point. As for the biggest problem in Europe, this continent was just never able to unify. There were too many big powers here, and they were all of somewhat equal strength, so one was never able to get over the other. I do also want to draw attention to this war, because I noticed this was very significant in the scheme of things. And El Salvador was kind of screwed. That sucks, because I thought they were going to do really well. They were the biggest country to form up out of the New World, but they were in the middle, so that's never fun. And now, by 1947, I think you can kind of tell where this is going. It was between Liberia and Mongolia, and Punjab is just unfortunately in the middle of the map, so you know things aren't going to go well for them. Nothing ever happened to Santiago or Canada. I think they were trying to make it to the old world, but no conflict took place right here. And there you go. So at this point, I knew Mongolia was gonna win. They were super cornered off. That was, I think, ultimately the biggest thing. So Mongolia, I think you've made Genghis Khan very proud. You were eventually able to achieve world domination a couple centuries later, so you know that's a plus. So there you go. There's the only time I'm ever gonna do this, because that was not very fun. I don't know why I just didn't play EU4. Probably would have saved me from calling the suicide hotline. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And of course, big thanks to Drew Meltzer, Wyone, Hitler Did Nothing,
Demonetized,
Furry Cruz, Rucification, Nick Tang, Matthew Ellis, Lavender Sheep, Stormblade, Elfie, Hayden the Exile Brown, Jung Cooks Bay, Elijah Senpai, and finally, Drew, you didn't say my last name. If you want to support me, you can find a link down below.